Yo, 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 it's your boy High Five Vega. This is a very serious car audio show,
100%.
and I'm joined, as always, by the man who never sleeps, the destroyer of salads, the man who once called the entire internet a stuck up, half witted, scruffy looking nerf herder. What's up, Dean?
I mean, I'm not going to deny it, but like most things in life, I don't remember saying it.
Oh, man. What you been up to? What's going on?
Just finishing out, or I should say starting up, because the year ended, so now we're starting up the next year. So pretty
You
much
got a show coming up soon, don't you? Not a show, but
5
like
weeks.
an event you're going to. Yeah.
Knowledge Fest Vegas is in 17th, I think, 17th through the 20th for us. So we're leaving Thursday morning at really freaking early. We get to Vegas at about 8 something, like 8:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna rent a car, and no news tomorrow. We're gonna rent a car and we're gonna drive to the Hoover Dam. Because I'm like, dude, we got to go see this. It's like,
have you never been?
Never been.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
kind of
cool.
It's kind of a trip from here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. Yeah,
Well, you were just at Vegas, though.
We were. Yeah, but dude, we'd never been there before, so
okay, yeah, that's right.
So we'll do that, and then I'm just gonna rent the car for the day,
right?
And then we'll take it back and drop it off at the airport and go back to the hotel. But Uber back to the hotel. That's fucking stupid. But no, we're just gonna drive around. There's a couple other things we want to do while we're there, just to see the place. We never get the opportunity to do that. So now we're trying to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, have a little fun with your work.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be.
You should see downtown Vegas at night.
We saw that. We got that taken care of. That was awesome. We did that with Brian Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
So he picked us up at the airport, and then we drove the strip and went to the sign and got the picture taken with him and his dog and us, and that was a lot of fun. But we want to kind of go outside the strip, and I mean, I was like, we get there at 8 a.m, so it's like, God, because it was the only nonstop flight, and I was like, I like nonstop flights.
Right, exactly.
Dude, and it seems like, okay, everywhere we need to go is like, it's going to be 6 to 8 hours. Where are we going? I don't know, but it's 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, there's always a transfer. And it's like a 2-hour wait. Like, man, geez.
I told Sue, I was like, it's like flying to Atlanta and it takes 6 hours. It's like,
yeah, it's dumb.
Sorry, man. 6 hours.
That's why we get these. I don't know if you have much. I think you have some in your air. It's called Legion Air.
Yeah.
So they're like chartered flights, but they're really cheap and they do direct flights. So I drive up about an hour away from here and they'll do direct flights to Vegas, direct flights to like Clearwater. They actually had direct flights to quite a few places.
Nice.
And they're like $100 each way or 150 each way.
Wow.
So
yeah, no. We didn't find that flight. But we're teaching I stole the name of another photographer who used to do this class called Snapshots to Great Shots.
Yeah.
Back in, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, I think it's even a book. I was like, I stole the title. I'm like, because they're like, we need a title. And I'm like, Snapshots to Great Shots. There you go. So basically,
plus, if no one read the book, they just like, oh, he's genius.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure none of these guys have read the book. So they're all like, even Fernando's like, ooh, that's a good title. I'm like, I stole it. Right. He's like, they'll never know. I'm like, exactly. But no, we're teaching, because normally we do this digital business card and I'm over it. I didn't even really want to do this class, but I had a laser class I wanted to do, and they're like, nah, we have somebody else that's doing one. It's gonna be similar. I'm like, no, it's not. But we're gonna do because one of the complaints that a lot of the guys give us is that like, oh, I'm trying to find somebody in my neck of the woods, and it's like, yeah, we know. Well, I want somebody that does stuff like you. Yeah, we know they exist, but they apparently.
I get that third hand. Like, who in your area does like Dean and them? Like, man, that's.
So it's like it's not really hard to post pictures of your work.
Yeah.
So, but I think most of the time people just need to be shown it's very easy and that like you can accomplish this very easily. Couple keywords and boom, they'll be able to find you.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody noticed. Yep. Where is it? It's there. Ooh,
There
yeah.
you go. Shiny.
It's very shiny. So that's what we got going on there. And then like 2 weeks after that, we'll be in Arizona.
That's for the master fabricator thing?
Yeah, mobile tech expo.
Wow.
So, and Fro will be there, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we'll get to hang out with Fro a little bit. I talked to him tonight.
Got to make him get on the live stream.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, obviously, you know, we're always looking for stuff to do, so
yeah,
pretty excited.
Yeah,
we might have something in April. We're still working on that. So,
no more rock docs. It's a rock doc, man. What else was it?
Oh, rock doc. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The rock doc.
The rock doc.
Right.
No. No. I mean, if I had my wish this year, I'd like to go to JL or Metra.
Yeah, Metra would be cool because people wouldn't expect that.
No, and they do, you know, they make all their own kits there, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So,
oh, they actually make their kits there?
Oh yeah.
Oh damn, that's cool. I assumed that they just got them from China or somewhere.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny because like the little boxes that the circuit boards go in, they print those there, and they're white right now because black plastic is so expensive. So they just said, we're gonna make them white. They can buried in the dash. Who cares? So all these idiots are like, I got this weird white one. What is going on?
Something's different. I don't like this.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, we got one the other day. And I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, finally got a white one. And it was like, I've never seen their commercials, man. But you know, and so in all the threads, they're like, we told everyone plastic. We just changed the color because it's like affordable. Sorry.
Right. I kind of feel them though, because when I get something different, like I've been ordering it for 10 years, and all of a sudden it's different. I'm like, whoa, what? I don't like this.
Okay, you get off my lawn.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Get off my lawn, you bastards. So, like this week, one of the things we had to do is we had to get to class kind of started because it's 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
And up until like this week, we didn't know which class we were going to teach. So I was like, all right, well, you know, you have to, they want like the title, they want the overview, they want like 3 reasons or 3 takeaways from the class, who should attend the class. And it's like, you know, they want it all by the 31st. And it's like, I'm going to be busy after this week. So it's like, we need to get this shit done now.
Yeah.
So
and that's for
that one is for Knowledge Fest. And then we'll also be doing a training we got 2 big trainings going on there so far, where we'll be doing a big training. Fernando's doing a huge Spanish training, which will be really cool. He's going to be working with Ricardo Rangel from Monster by Rangel out of Mexico City, Mexico.
Yeah.
They're going to do a Spanish audio control class. It's going to be huge. Like I'm just kind of like on the outside of it because it's not my speed.
Right.
And I'm like,
it's like double the speed actually.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that sounds impressive. You guys are going all out.
I bet Mexico City's a pretty big market. That's actually like a huge place.
It is, but it's kind of scary. Like Ricardo, he has a great YouTube channel. Anyone that wants to like see some of the work this guy does, or you can follow him on Instagram. They have it's an awesome store that he's built, and he got jumped one day. Like they literally his complex is in a fenced in complex because you know shit's scary. You know?
Oh yeah. It's a little bit lawless down south.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What's up, David?
Hit that like
Appreciate it.
button. No doubt.
Yeah.
So, and then Matthew and I are going to do a, for those of you who know, Matthew's basically, he was a national sales trainer at Audio Control. Now is the interim taking over for Chris Bennett. So now he's doing sales.
He's the guy.
Yeah. Along with Chris Kane, who's been there forever. He's the gentleman that gave us that number 3 audio control epicenter. And so the Epicenter Micro, for those of you that are paying attention at home, should hit retail stores within the next 2 weeks. So they're just opening up orders for dealers this week. And you'll learn more about this. This is all like, we're not even supposed to be talking about it, but I really don't care. So they're opening it up for dealers this week. Then everything should be rolling into the store. So 2 weeks, they should be on the shelves. And then sometime within that, yeah, no doubt. And then sometime within that, they'll open up on the website. So if you want to order it directly from them, you can. And I think we might even have like a special, like if you type in this code kind of shit. I don't think you're gonna get. Yeah, I don't think you get shit off, but
yeah,
like there's no discounts to be had right now. So it's just like, you know, just lets them know that you like us.
And that's one I actually think I'm going to get the mini. Because the music I listen to, like an Epicenter, there's times when I would like an Epicenter. Not always, but sometimes.
No. Well, that's the nice thing. You get 2 knobs. So
right.
But we're going to do a class on. So one of the cool things about the new Epicenter Micro is that it finishes off the 2-channel interface high-level capability. So you have the LC1i, which is so with the LC1i, the LC2i Pro, and the Epicenter Micro, you now have 3 different high-level to low-level applications for your car, depending on what you're integrating into. So with an LC1i, you have no subwoofer control, which is fine because your amp may have that. But you have a high-level to low-level that'll take 40 volts of input, and you have line-level input. Because the unit itself is a line driver. So it does 2 things. And what the bonus behind that is if you're putting it in a car, like all I need is a basic high level to low LC1i will do that. You put it in, and then they decide that I'm going to upgrade my radio in, let's say, a year or whatever. Well, you don't have to pull it out. You just run a set of RCAs to that because it's a line driver. So chances are good your 2 volt, 4 volt, whatever, head unit that you just got, Pioneer, and sucks. And you go to plug that in, and this will keep your voltage up into your amplifier and make everything sound good. So you don't have to rewire everything. So you can do a nice install, just unplug that, plug RCAs in, and you're done. So that's your LC1i. Or if you just need a line driver. So like if you have that crappy radio that you wish you had more output voltage, an LC1i can go in and it'll solve that. So it's like, here is solution number 1, LC1i. And then you go into LC2i Pro, get a bass knob, and then you get AccuBass. So if you have an older car, let's say 3 years old and back, and you're trying to put it in there, again, 40 volts of input. Now, all of these have the load resistors on them. So if you're disconnecting a speaker to hook it up, so like if you have a subwoofer in the rear deck and you're disconnected, you have the load generation in it, so it will retain the sound. It won't shut off, and you'll be, oh crap, what do I do? Oh, you need LGD. It's built in. So now if you have bass roll off, and a lot of people don't understand bass roll off because they don't understand what loudness is. So they called it bass roll off, but it's actually just the loudness roll off that most people build into their head unit. So if you have an aftermarket head unit, you have that little loudness button. It's like loudness 1, loudness 2, now loudness 3. And if you've never used it or understood how it worked, turn it off, turn the stereo up, and then turn it on. And you'll notice no difference at all.
Right.
It won't sound any. You're like, well, hey, what happened? Why? It doesn't do anything. Now, turn it off, turn the volume back down to a normal listening level, and turn it on. And all of a sudden, you'll be like, holy crap, this sounds great. What did I do? Everything sounds impactful, vivid, because it's boosting the bass and treble to make our ears perceive everything as level, because we hear mid-range. So like our ears hear like this. It hears a lot of mid-range and the bass and treble roll off. So this loudness curve is designed to make music flat to our ears, which sounds better or more. Yeah. Anyways.
Right.
So when you put that in from the factory and you disregard the high-end side, as your volume goes up, your subwoofer is going to plateau, because that's what loudness does. But your mids and highs are perceived as getting louder. So AccuBass is designed to go in there, and you can dial it into that point where you try to find that voltage point where the loudness stops.
Yeah.
And then you can dial AccuBass into that, and you'll see the light come on, and you'll know where it's at, and you can just keep adjusting it. And so that fixes that loudness issue, or which they call bass roll off. So that's cool. So let's say you put in an LC1I and you find out that you have this problem. Well, you can unplug the LC1I, plug in an LC2I, run the bass knob, call it a day. Now, you say you sell an LC2I because you just assume it's got bass roll off. Oh, it's going to suck. But now, a lot of these new cars don't come with bass roll off. They come with high pass filters. Okay, so all the new Hondas are all high pass filters. It's 80 hertz, just
straight
down.
96 dB.
just bye. Like if you look at it playing, if you look at pink noise on a Honda, it's like it just like that whole sub side just goes bye bye, and you're like, well, shit. And it doesn't matter what level it's at. Well, that's a high pass crossover, and AccuBass is not going to fix that because there's nothing there to fix. It's not rolling off. It's because AccuBass is looking for the voltage at which that stops happening, and once it's there, then it boosts back up gradually to keep everything going. So that's where the Epicenter Micro comes in, because an Epicenter Micro will do an octave shift and create bass where that bass doesn't exist. So it takes the energy from here and moves it over to here. So if you have if your bass starts to roll off at 80 hertz, if you set your Epicenter Micro, dial it to where, in there again, it's one of those things you have to use your ears. But if you start dialing it, and that's the other thing too, a lot of people get Epicenter confused with a parametric EQ band, because it has Q and it has frequency, which is what a parametric EQ typically does. But what it doesn't have, or parametric EQ, you can select the frequency and then you can widen it and boost it. That's not what the Epicenter does. The Epicenter does an octave shift. So it takes energy from here and moves it over to here. So if you set it to 80, it's going to boost 40.
Yeah.
Okay. A parametric EQ, if you've got no energy at 40 and you're just trying to lift it up, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to, but the effect that the octave shift does, then they put parametric style adjustments on top of that. So now you can make it wide. You can, you have all the fun you want with it. And so now what you have is, with these three devices, you can pretty much go into any car with any problem and go, no, it's not this one. It's not this one. So if you put in, let's say, an LC2i Pro, and then you find out that, oh, it's not bass roll off, it's just EQ'd like crap. Well, even though that's high pass,
right.
So even though that the bass knob for the Epicenter Micro is that 2, the 4, it's the same cable. So you don't have to run a new cable. You just unplug put that in, and you're done. So it's one of those things, from a retail side, it's great because I have a solution now for anything, 2-channel.
Yeah.
And from a consumer point, if you go into a store and you buy a 2 and it finds out that the Epicenter is the way to go, well, you don't have to pull the bass knob wire. It's the same damn wire. So you just put it all here.
Just switch it.
Just switch these, and you're golden. So it makes it's going to be fun. I'm super excited to finally get this piece out. Like, I had to do a freaking car the other day where it was like 1.800 Epicenter, or full size Epicenter, and an LC1I, and I'm just like, oh my god, like a box this big would take up all. Oh, this sucks.
Well, a lot of people, back in the day, they didn't. That's why I say Epicenter was rebasing back in the day, because people, even back then, they kind of thought of it as an EQ, and it's like, no, this makes bass where there was none before.
Yeah. And if any of you guys are curious, you can just Google Epicenter Micro. 5-star Epicenter Micro, and we've already unboxed it, or we've already installed it. We've got video up on it. We've got what it looks like on the RTA. We have all the information about it, so you can already see all that fun stuff. It's cool. It'll be nice.
Yo, Kevin,
what's up? Miss you and Big D on 12. Yeah, I know. Me too, right?
Yeah. He's Derek's dead. I'm sorry to announce it on the show, but oh man. You know what? Someone will totally take me serious too.
I know, it's so sad. It's so sad. What? What? No, what? COVID? Yes. COVID. No, it was all COVID.
It was the Delta, not the Delta. The
Isn't Alpine like 3 lines or something? I think Alpine is 4 lines or 5 lines, and each one of those lines actually means something.
Yeah.
On that logo.
Yeah. So. Alpine does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That nobody understands.
Well, the lines all mean something. So like, I'm surprised they haven't redone the logo yet, because every like 20 years or something, the Japanese are supposed to redo their logo.
Adidas.
Yeah, right. But no, Alpine. Each one of the lines on Adidas, on Alpine means something. And I used to know it when I was repping them, but I don't remember what it was because it was like really stupid. You know, it's like respect and engineering and quality, and you know, it's like, oh wow, that's amazing. Ooh, you guys are original. So tech savvy.
Little do they know, a 15-year-old is gonna buy that sub, throw it in a really bad box, and then beat the shit out of it.
Well, see, that was, dude, and that's why. Like, do you remember the bass lines that they had?
Oh yeah, those were on them. Yeah.
Okay, those were indestructible woofers. Okay, and trust me when I say they were indestructible woofers. You could put them in the shittiest box ever. You could put the shittiest power on them, and they would just hammer all day long. And I was like, these are great, and they were affordable. They sounded good. It just wasn't like they just. And I was like, dude, you guys need to make a whole baseline line. So get rid of all this, because they had Type E shit at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, dude, get rid of all this E stuff and just call it baseline. And make a whole, like, come out with 2 baseline amps, some baseline speakers, like market the whole. And they were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Huh.
We'll take that under advisement and do nothing.
Yeah, I think we're just going to stick with the E.
Yeah.
And
I figured the baseline would be a pretty big seller for them.
It was
kind
huge.
Of entry level.
Oh, dude, it was huge.
Yeah.
And then
it was
just
cool
kind
looking. I thought it looked cool.
And it was, and when you flipped up the door, you saw the Far East movement.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was the group that was like, you know, they
hired. I remember the group.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
To sponsor them.
I'm trying to think what I want to do for my midlife crisis. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. I'm pondering it. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I bought a convertible, but that was just because my other car broke. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna keep that one, but I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna lose my mind. So it really doesn't matter at this point. It's either gonna be this or the girls.
Can you actually plan a midlife crisis, or does it just come upon you?
I think it just comes upon you. Like you wake up one morning and I think you just kind of wake up and you're like, you realize where you're at and you just don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And an irrationality kind of sets in, I think. Yeah. And
plus you have money at that point. Because when you're young, you can't do it because you don't have no money. It's like, well,
not always do you have money. That could be part of the reason why you're having a midlife crisis.
Oh, I guess it could, yeah.
You know, you don't have the money you want to do what you want to do. Thought about buying the baseline from Alpine now. Yeah. I tell you what, I mean, I don't know what Alpine has released as far as new stuff goes. I saw that there was an article about their new DAC that they have coming out. I think that was in CE Outlook, because I haven't looked at anything. Since we're not doing the news, I'm like, I don't care. It's like, it's like, I'll figure it out next week, because everything starts back next week. So it's like Monday we have the show, Saturday, Friday, everything goes back to normal next week. So we're excited we're just as excited as you guys are, to be honest with you, because it's like, I just want to go back to normal. You know, I just want to like get back to the structure of not having other shit take away. But I think they mentioned their DAC, which is cool because it's funny too, because their DAC is literally a single DIN box with a screen that detaches from it.
But so it's meant for in-car then?
It's meant for in-car.
Okay.
Yeah. They have an in-car DAC. So not the F1 status DAC, which is just a rebadged Alistair Kern or whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah.
This is an actual in-car. So think of Sony GS9 with a detachable screen, or with a screen that's detached, should I say, almost like a CD changer style screen.
So you can mount it like a director for a Helix or something like that then.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. That's cool. Yeah, that's the idea. And then that at some point is designed to plug into the new 14-channel DSP amplifier. 14-channel, 12-channel. It's either 14 or 12, I don't remember. So it's like 80 by 4.
Yeah.
And then 50 by 8 or something like that. What was that, 12?
That's not bad, man. Even if
it's 12. So it's 12.
Yeah, if all of them were 50 by.
No, it's like 50 by 8, 50 by 8, and 80 by 4. But you're not going to see. So that's the rub, is you're not going to see that amplifier until third quarter.
Nice.
But and then they're coming out with new R-Type, and they're going to come out with new other speakers too, which I don't want to talk about those. But the new R-Types look sexy as shit, and they're coming out with a 3-way R-Type, which is really nice. I think that's going to be hot.
So speakers, not subs, or speakers and subs.
They're coming out. They're changing the whole R series line. It's still going to be called R, but they are coming out with another line that is going to be speakers and subs as well too, and amplifiers and stuff like that. They'll have, because the X goes bye-bye. The X is over.
So what's Pioneer doing this whole time? You got any word on Pioneer? Like they got bought by
Chinese company.
Yeah, Chinese company, and it's just been radio silent.
So for like a year and 4 months, they had no product to sell at all because all their chips are AKM chips.
Right, the one that burnt down, right?
The one that burnt down. So everything that they got sold to the Chinese company. They started making radios, and then AKM burned down, and they were 100% reliant on AKM. So that means they got nothing. And it's not like they could switch to somebody else, because everybody else that was using those companies are demanding more chips. So it wasn't like there was an option that they could just go and like, hey, we're going to just go over here. So I think I don't think they're using AKM chips anymore. Since they're in China, they can just use somebody else's chips.
Right.
But so when the radios finally came out in August, it was just the line that they had previously made, and other than that, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if they have plans to, because if you think about it, they're a year behind now. And I wish they would just make the stuff they have better. Like, the way they made the newer units, they have a micro USB on the back that's flush with the cage. They have a USB-C that is flush with the cage. And then they give you this giant USB-C. So it's like, if you have a regular depth radio and you have to put this USB-C cable on it, it's not like that far.
They don't even give you like a right angle or...
No, I think they give you a right angle now, but it still doesn't matter, because it's literally like, who in their right mind would put the connector right here at the back of the radio at the top, where it's like, as soon as you go to slide it in the dash, it's going to hit what's behind it. It's like, are we new? Like, everyone managed how it's like, put a cable on it and hang it off, or countersink it into the radio. And it's not like there's anything in the frames to these radios. They're hollow.
Yeah. I also I don't like that you have to plug it in. I like the cable hanging off, even though people, I guess, think it, but you can tape that. You can plug it in and tape it.
Well, I mean, the cable hanging off is the best way to do it. Hands down.
I think so too.
Don't tape it, for the love of God. Will you people stop putting black tape around the FM antenna and the fucking USBs and the
I'm
RCA.
using tested tape. I want it to look professional.
No, fuck no. Don't use any of that shit over that stuff. My God. Oh, Jesus Christ. It does more damage than it will ever do holding it in place. Okay. It's going to turn to goo inside of a month. And then it just, the black goo gets in. If you ever have to take it off, that black goo gets all over the RCAs. It gets, and it's like, now you got to sit there with acetone and clean off the heads of the RCAs. Because if you go to slide it back on, all that black goo goes in the RCA. So all you that think you're nice and like, oh, the RCAs are going to rattle off. They're not going to rattle off ever.
I've never seen anybody put on RCAs.
All the fucking time, man. It's like, I'm like, if you're worried about it, get some heat shrink and use your heat shrink. That's it. Like every now and then we'll put some, like if it's in an all metal dash and it's tight and we're worried about it, might, there's like a snowball's chance in hell that it might, we'll go, okay, we'll put some heat shrink on it. And then what you do, here's the key to that, is you literally do the top, you do the bottom, you leave a bubble in the center. So that all you have to do when you get later, razor knife cuts it right off.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't heat the whole thing up, and vacuum form in the RCA. You just do the tips so that it doesn't slide. It's just there as an insulator. That's it. And it won't make nothing sticky and gooey.
Well, see, I only do it on the USB ones because I've had USBs. The antenna cables always hold in. Never had trouble with them. But I have had USBs come loose because they fit tight. They're in there tight and they rub.
Oh, yeah. I know. Amateur moves. It's okay, man.
That's why I'm an amateur.
And then there you go. Never had one come loose.
That's the way I move.
Yeah, never had one come loose. I mean, I'm like, yeah. Well, of course I'm dropping the F-bomb. That's why I'm here. If for nothing else, drink. It's a drinking game. Everyone drink. Dean said the F-bomb.
Are the Audio Legion RCAs any good? They're just cheap RCAs. I mean, they're like any other cheap pair you'd get. They're twisted.
Twisted all the way.
Yeah.
Count the leads. If it's twisted and you can see it, count how many wires in there. If there's 2 wires in there, probably walk away. If there's 3 wires in there, that means that 2 of the wires are for signal and one of them is a drain wire. That means it's got better noise reduction. So that's really what you're looking for, is noise reduction on RCAs. The twisted pair. So like the difference between like a good twisted pair and a twisted pair is, and why they're directional, because let's be honest, copper is not directional. So it says directional. I'm not. Look, if you put a penny in there, it's doesn't matter which way Abraham Lincoln's face is going. Hey, did you know if you ever lay a penny, nickel, quarter, dime out, Lincoln goes this way and all the other ones go that way?
No.
Yeah, there's a racist thing for that, but I won't say it on this show. Anyways, copper is not directional. Let's get that out of our heads. The twist has nothing to do with the direction. Twisted RCAs with directions on there are usually done like that. I say usually because some people are full of shit and they don't actually do it, as a drain wire to move the noise away from the amplifiers. Yeah, that's what that's for. So if you get a nice set of Stinger RCAs and it says, it's got a flag on it that says towards radio, what it has is a drain wire. So all that noise that gets picked up on it gets sent back. And it doesn't radiate into, it goes nowhere. It just So, and it works. But that's it. That's what the direction are supposedly for.
Did you hear about? So I think I was on Unmasked when we were talking about cheap RCAs.
Yeah.
Or it was some show back in the day. I thought that the spare wire that came with RCAs was for remote turn on.
Yes,
but really, it's meant to ground your RCAs.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was like, and it took me.
Everybody. So if you look at like home audio, usually there's on the back of the radio, they usually have those little ground indicators all over the place. And so the idea was, if you have like a piece here, a piece here, a piece here, a piece here, you don't want the reference for ground to be through the RCA, because you don't want to blow up the preamp section. So those would be to ground all the pieces together. Obviously now, with chassis grounding and better technology, that's not necessary. However, when you take that home RCA and bring it into a car environment, we're dumbasses are looking, damn, that's got a remote turn-on wire in it. Hell yeah! I don't have to run that now.
There you go.
It's
2
so
in 1.
cool. You know, it's like, yes, let's take a 12-volt signal that makes all kinds of noise and
And
run
run
it
it.
next to the thing we don't want
Literally
noise
in
next to.
between. Literally in
Yeah,
between.
just boom. No, I'm gonna lie, we did it. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it's there. Let's do it. Sub amp. Who cares? You know. But you know, yeah. Good God, it does. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've also probably when I was like 15 ran wire through the
Door,
the door, you know. So I have done it.
I've seen some really elegant, like you've put a lot of time trying to do that wrong. High five.
Made it look really good.
Yeah. You know, it's like,
yeah, it's tough, man.
Okay.
It's tough. Yeah.
What up, Rob? Ooh, speaking of Stinger, did you see the new Stinger 2-door car? Oh, dude. Yeah, the Kia Stinger or whatever it is, Hyundai Stinger.
I've seen, like, is it brand new? I've seen the other
ones. I think they're just I think it's brand new, just really. I've only seen pictures of it. It's like, wow. So what makes the Stinger so good? Nothing makes the Stinger so good at all. It's just they have the drain wire in there, and I was just using that merely as a reference. Those are the RCAs we choose to use.
Right.
But we choose to use them out of convenience. The fact that they're right down the street from us, geographically, we get the stuff the next day. However, They do make a good RCA, and I have used hundreds of thousands of them over the last 32 years of doing this. And they have the amount of failures that I have had in 32 years compared to, you know,
everything else.
It's like hundreds of thousands of these guys compared, you know, this number is unfathomable. The failures, I could probably still count them on like my hands. Yeah. And that's going from the cheapest freaking RCAs they've ever made to, you know, the stuff we've used now. They just make a good cable that's reasonably priced. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it too. So it's like, I'm not a fanboy of that cable. It's just, it works.
Yeah, you use what works for you. And it's like, they have a reputation of putting out quality stuff. Yeah. So you know that most generally whatever you get from them is going to be.
Well, the 4000 is definitely the most installer friendly RCA out there, man.
I've used the 4000 almost every install.
We do. I mean, honestly, we do. It's like, what are you going to put in the car? I'm going to put a 4000. Why? Because it's freaking easy, and it works, and it doesn't sound bad. It's not going to color the noise.
Reasonably cheap, you know. It's
They're, you know, it's like,
I think you can get like the 4-channel 16-foot pair for like $17 or something.
Put it this way,
$20.
I could put a really expensive set of RCAs in your car and make you feel really good,
right?
And charge you hundreds of dollars for it. It will sound absolutely no different than a set of those 4000s. But what will sound different is instead of spending the money on that, spend the money on making your car not rattle.
Right, exactly. Okay. That's what it sounded.
That will be a noticeable difference since you go, oh, my doors don't sound like hollow pop cans. That's pretty
But if you had Kimber, you don't know because you've never used the Kimber cable, so.
Dude, the Alpine DAC.
Have you used any Kimber cable?
Oh, yeah. And dude, like I told you, Kimber Cable sponsored Alpine,
right?
And they made all Kimber Cable for Alpine, so like there was 0 gauge Kimber Cable going through this thing. I mean, you think I'm like, dude, we used to look at that at shows and we'd be like, could you imagine how much a foot that is? Like,
right?
I mean, like we're bitching about $6 or $7 right now. That was probably $40 to $100 a foot for that. Yeah. I mean, because, dude, you think like a Kimber Cable RCA is like 3 wires.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're all their RCAs are pure silver too, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm guessing here.
You know, it's like, yeah, give me that. I'm trying to think what I have in my home stereo because it's less and less RCAs every time I do it because it's like everything's like HDMI or whatever. But I think, see, I got a bunch of old Stinger coax styles, so like the 6000 series, which if I had to pick another cable that I liked, it would be the 6000 series because they're individual coax twisted cables. I hate I hate one big cable with the big end on it and the 2 wires that come out. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. Like the 9000s are by far some of the best sounding cables. I mean, it's basically a 6-channel RCA for 2 channels. So there's so much. There's copper, there's silver, there's unobtainium, there's so much crap going on in there, and so many shields and so much stuff going on. And it's like, but it's got this big ass knuckle, and it's I don't want it.
Yeah, so I have a bunch. I still have a bunch of the coax twisted coax, which is weird, but they're esoteric A7s. You know, the old school ones. But those were cool, but they're big. Like each one's like this big, and if you're running 6 channels, it's gonna take up some damn room.
So the Stinger Kings from back in the day, it was like a 4-gauge RCA. It was pretty awesome. I have a set at work, some of the originals somebody gave me.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
Yeah, they're like pink.
Yeah,
they're giant. It's like it's probably not a 4. It's probably like a cheap 4-gauge. It's bigger than an 8-gauge. Yeah, it's not as, and they're big ends on them, and it's like, oh, these are. And I wanted those so bad when I was young. I was like, oh, they make giant, big, fat RCAs. I want how much?
Yeah.
No, exactly. these drones are it, man. I'll take the drones. The drones, bro. Yeah, I'm good with the drones. Yeah.
Back in the day, Stinger wasn't big around here. It was mostly street wires and Phoenix Gold. So for our wires, it was all like if you wanted the top end stuff, it was street wires and then Stinger Gold or Phoenix Gold.
Yeah.
What's up, Scott?
Build your own 4-gauge RCAs. Yeah. I mean, trust me, dumb shit like that has kind of, I mean, I've done some really stupid stuff with really large quantities of wire and thicknesses. And, back when, all right, story time. When I was a kid in high school, I worked at a fast food restaurant that doesn't exist anymore. But at that fast food restaurant, they made everything. Like we had chicken sandwiches, we had hamburgers, we had ham and cheese sandwiches, we had turkey sandwiches, we had broasted chicken. We had broasted chicken. We made broasted chicken and broasted potato wedges. We had curly fries. We made baked potatoes. We had freaking yogurt bar.
Jesus, this sounds like Cheesecake Factory menu shit.
It is. Right? Oh, we had pastrami sandwiches. One night was fish fry night. We had taco salads, bro. We used to make our own taco bowls. Okay, so we got the big pitas, and we make our own taco bowls in the fryer. So we had taco salads. So like they made everything. So like you'd come to work and chicken nuggets, of course. And you'd come to work and you're like, what am I gonna have for dinner tonight? And they had breakfast too, so there was always eggs and all that shit left over, and bacon, and so you're like, man, so you could make anything. Like you would have a triple stack cordon bleu chicken sandwich with 4 different types of cheese, pickles, lettuce, and you whatever you want. I'm in the mood for yogurt tonight. We had the orange juice. Remember the orange juice machine where like it shot out the sides, the fountain. So that syrup, okay. Like you'd get that syrup and mix it with and make orange flavored, yogurt. And, I mean, it was just like the dumbest 3 years of my life. It was wonderful. But, you would just come up, like we'd have burrito night. Okay. And burrito night would be the big taco bowl, because we'd make our own taco bowl. So that's a giant shell that's like this big. So there was a Winn-Dixie and a cash and carry in our parking lot. Yeah. So it's like we'd run across the street, grab a can of refried beans, bring them back in, cook them. We'd have taco meat. We'd make these burritos, man, that would like, you want to talk, like when you go to these restaurants, like, oh, we got a big burrito. Fuck you, ain't got a big burrito, bitch.
Yeah.
You're eating that 4 fucking hours because it's like, okay, that's a burrito,
Exactly.
Anyways, so, it was the purpose of this is when I started to work in car audio, and there again, now you have access to everything. Ring terminals, distribution blocks, wire by the spool. Oh my God. A stockroom full of shit. You just have dreamed about your whole life. And like now you have access to it. I didn't rip out the tag. Okay. And you're like, ah! It was like being at that restaurant again. It's like you could do anything. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to run 8 gauge to my sub wires. Nowadays, that makes total sense. Like people are running.
Back then, that was literally unheard of.
It's like 18 gauge, right. Man. What do we got? We got some scrap. Run that to that shit right there.
Like the biggest amp anybody sells is 1,000 watts.
Yeah,
it's just like one person selling it.
And there's 12 gauge and wires, not even 12 gauge. It's like 16 gauge wires coming out of the amplifier.
Yeah.
As amplifiers got better, like US amps and stuff like that, but still there'd be like 10 gauge wire.
Back when amps used to come with the wire.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like you started just like, I'm gonna like. I called up Amp one day. I was I got a system I got to put in my car. Like Kenwood. I bought a whole Kenwood system because Kenwood was like 70% off dealer cost.
Wow.
Okay. Dude, it was like free. But you have to buy everything.
Right.
You have to buy a radio, you have to buy navigation, you have to buy speakers, you have to buy amplifiers, you have to buy a full complete system. And I was like, for 70% off? Sure. And then you had to take pictures of it and send them in the pictures so that it proved, and it had to stay in your car for a year. But 70% off, man. It was like, I got everything for like $500. It was like stupid. I had 3 giant amplifiers, 4 sub.
Dude, and Kimber made some sick shit. Like they made like the HQ subwoofers. They just look super dope.
Yeah. It was crazy what you could buy. So I call up Stinger. And I said, hey, man, I'm building a system and I need some wire. What kind of deal? And my buddy Artie, that's still my rep today, he goes, bro, call your boy Nathan. Talk to your boy Nathan. Just to go through Nathan. I said, okay. So I called Nathan. Hey, man. He goes, dude, just do me a favor. Write down everything you need. Whatever it is, write it all down. Everything. And everything you think you might need. This is a one-time deal. That's it. And I said, okay, cool. He goes, and don't be shy. So like, if you want caps, put caps, all the pieces. So spend some time, figure it all out. I said, all right, fine. So, I went through and just made this fucking laundry list of all the dumbest shit I could possibly think of. And then they sent it all to me. And I was like, oh.
Like shit, I got a 10 farad cap bank.
Oh my god, dude! I had
never gonna dim.
Oh, you know it, man. And had like fucking distribution, like 4 gauge coming out of the amplifier to distribution blocks for the subwoofers because there was like 4 10s, and then each 10 had 8 gauge going. It was just dumb. It was so dumb.
I remember it. Like my buddy, he worked there at one of the shops, and he's like, "Yo, I'm getting this stuff super cheap, dude." He said, but I can't sell it for a year. He's like, so in the next year, I'm going to do another system. I'll sell this stuff to you for, whatever, double what he paid, which was still less than half price. So
yeah,
that was the plan. That was our little scam.
Oh, dude. And just like one of the saddest things is being able to see like the price sheet and realize we don't make any fucking money on this stuff. You're like, oh, finally going to get it for dealer cost. Yeah. Wait a minute. Really? That's how much money we make on this. This fucking blows.
I've got the consumer sad version of that. At one of the stores that I went to, they had a list of everything I've ever bought there, totaled up, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm 18 years old, and I've spent $6,000 here. And I have a piece of shit truck. What am I doing with my life? And that was all cash and carry. Like I didn't have them install anything.
Well, what was it? I can't reach it, but like the Tamiya Grasshopper RC car that I rebuilt that's sitting over there. I wanted the RC10, which is right there. It's funny how they're this close to one another and they're both complete. I wanted that, and I couldn't get that because I didn't have the money. So I built this to get as close to that as possible, spending way more money than if I would just have – I could have owned 2 of those for what I paid for that by the time I was done. And it was like, this is so stupid. But that's one of those hard moments you have to have, just like car audio, and I didn't – in some life lessons you just don't learn. So it's like – and car audio was the same. It was like, do I wait or do I have it now? I want it now. And it wasn't so much later in life that it was like, I want this. All right, well, slow down. All right.
Yeah.
Do you want this? Because, don't settle. Find out what you want and then buy that. And it was like, okay, well, I can't buy it today, but I really want it. So that's when you learned patience, because it was like, I don't want to keep wasting money just to have shit that I don't really want. I want specific things. And so then it was like, okay, save your money, buy it once, buy it right, and be done with it.
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to just like, oh no, I'll get that one next time. This is just
it's a tough, man. It's like you don't want to get the stepping stone stuff, especially if you're very particular about what you want.
Yeah.
And you can buy whatever mic you want to buy, but if you know that you like Rode mics and this Rode mic costs $300, you might as well just wait and get that Rode mic and deal with whatever you got in the meantime, because it's going to be stepping stone, and now you're lost money here. And
well, that was I mean, if we're going to go that nerdy, it's like when I got into cameras, I didn't understand the difference between the red line and the gold line.
Yeah.
The gold line is consumer. The red line is L, which is professional.
Yeah.
And you think you're getting this really great piece of glass, and you're getting a decent piece of glass, and you're like, why is this one twice as much? And then you see it, and you're like, oh, that's why. And then you're like, I literally sold. I had bought 2 silver or 2 gold line glass, and I sold them both to buy like half of an L lens. And I was like,
it happens, man. It happens. I do the same thing with, like, I get a really nice tool in my hand. I'm like, oh damn, what have I been doing with this cheap crap for the rest of my life?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was just like when I bought my first RTA. Anyways, so when I bought the first
RTA.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be, and that's the cool thing, is that like when I bought my first RTA, it was $600.
Yeah.
For the PAA 3, and it was $600.
Yeah.
But once we got it and started using it, it was like, oh my god, this is so fucking amazing. Now I laugh because it's like I've bought 3 PAA 3s. I have the PAA 3X. I bought a PAA 2, which I just finally fired up today. I've had it for like 6 months or 3 months, man, probably 6 months. I just finally took it out of the box from eBay, and it turned out the battery connections were all corroded. So I had to pull the whole thing. Well, whatever. Yeah. I had to pull the whole thing apart and clean them all up and get all the corrosion off of it, and then put it, and it worked. And I was like, yes. And there again, I'll probably never use it. I just wanted it to complete the set. But dude, like a PA 3X, which is the new one right now, it's almost like $1,000. Yeah. Because you can't get them.
Well, I don't know how it is nowadays, but a lot of shops, they didn't even have RTAs. Like, it was a big deal. Like, one shop had RTA. It was like, oh, this is so dope. Like, when I found out, like, Pink Noise, I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, what? Yeah. We could find Peak SPL like this? Like, oh.
We had a gold line, which I actually still have. Yeah. I acquired it. It doesn't work. It's dead.
Right.
I'm sure I could pay someone to fix it, but I really don't care. But I when I left, I took it with me. I mean, because no one even knew where it was. I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, by the time I left, it was almost 30 years old. Didn't work, and I'd been nursing it along. I'm keeping this. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I put it in work.
Yeah, I put the work in this. None of you guys did, but I still haven't. And actually, it's funny. Fernando grabbed it the other day and goes, "Why do we have this?" It's just an antique. All right, I'll take it home. Shut up. It's like it was cool.
I'll put this by the trash, Dean.
Yeah, no. What does that say? What's the best all-time preamp? I'm gonna say a pair of 225s. No,
the PAR 225. Wasn't that a precision power piece?
Nothing that said 225 was the badass anything. Okay. Okay, so I mean, I get it. For the young guys, are like, it's 2x25 watts. If you tried to sell somebody 2x25 watts, they'd just laugh at you. And what was funny is Andy Waymeyer today, the owner of Audiofrog, put up a post because he has new Audiofrog amps that he's developing. He got a set of ADS PS5s.
Right, which are
Yeah,
20 watts by 5 or something like, or 20 watts by 6, something like that. Yeah.
25 watts by something. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's giant amps. And he took the top off, and he's like, "This was a classic sound quality amplifier, very high end, 50-watt amplifier." And he put his new Audiofrog underneath it, and this is our new 4-channel by 125 watts. And
Right.
it's like, holy crap! I mean, that's where things are at. But and there again, the only reason these goofballs were running these 225 HCAs, which I have a 250, like literally right there,
Yeah.
is that they were cheating. They were
Yeah,
trying.
exactly.
If you loaded them down, got them to play at a half ohm, you got
At
all kinds of
30% efficiency,
power out of them.
you got like 380 watts.
Yeah, screw that. I wanted the SX amps. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I I was like, I want the SX amps because I want my real power at 4 ohms. So
Right. Well, back in the day, I didn't realize that either, and I don't think a lot of us didn't know that
no,
the
we
black amps,
didn't.
the XTR, were the ones that actually did the power that they said
Yeah.
they were going to do.
Yeah, those are the only because I was like, wait, what? Half ohm, 4
Yeah.
ohm? Fuck you. I only got one set of speakers in my car. I'll take
Right.
those. I want the power. I was always power.
Right.
Two by 25. I'm not
Well,
competing.
and I think what it is the compete. Like that's how I got into it, was competing. So it's like, oh well, I want to be zero. Everyone thinks 0 to 50. No, no, no. I done the 0 to 50 for at first. I was like, this is not where it's at. We're going 151 to 300, and we have a lot better chance in that one.
Fuck, I had 1,000 watts. There ain't
Yeah.
nobody in that class because all you goofballs are down there trying to compete. Oh, we got 10 watts.
Yeah, with the concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just laughed at that. I'm like, no, I'm good.
I actually put a poll up today.
Oh, sweet.
Well, listen, sometimes you have to see where you land in the lineup, and this is one of those moments.
You can only have one. Choose wisely. 90% efficient system. A 10 out of 10 SQ setup. Rock solid. 14.4 volts. And I think a lot of the guys voted for that just because they,
Yeah, troll.
why? Yeah. Reverse polarity, the show.
Yeah,
Nobody
we're
wanted
dead
that.
last. We're dead last, bro. Dead last.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm surprised the 10 out of 10 SQ system, like these deaf motherfuckers wouldn't even know what they're listening to.
Yeah.
I
was shocked by that too. I assumed, I knew that the voltage was going to be the biggest thing because most people that watch this show are bass first.
Yeah.
They care about the bass, so I knew that was going to be high up on it. And,
yeah, which is funny because if you had 90% efficient, you wouldn't need the voltage.
Yeah, exactly. So my pick would be the SQ system, then the efficiency.
No, I want the efficiency. Yeah. So here's a funny story. We'll end it on this because why not? And for those of you guys, before we make sure you head over to SideJag after this, we're going to be reviewing Don't Look Up, hilarious movie. So make sure to follow there if you're interested. So my buddy Ada, Absolute Electronics, Rockville, Maryland, built his Corvette for ARC. So Brian Mitchell gave him a bunch of stuff to put in his car, the PS8, the PS80, that little amazing 50-watt 8-channel amplifier in his Corvette. Well, he gets there and he needs Brian to tune it real quick because he's, I don't have time. So Brian tunes the car. And Brian, as we know, is a world-famous tuner, got all the plaques, all the trophies, trifecta of doom. He's won it all. There's more plastic crap trophies that I've stolen from him. So anyways, Ada gets in the car and he's like, dude, he's like, Dean, I'm telling you, those tweeters were hot, man. Those tweeters were hot. But everybody would get in the car and they're all like, dude, this thing sounds awesome. This is incredible. Oh my God. So he gets home and he calls up Brian. He's like, dude, I had to turn those tweeters down, man. I had to redo it. He goes, what were you thinking? He goes, what do you mean? I did that on purpose. He's like, why? He goes, because most people don't know what they're listening to. Most people don't know a sound quality system when they hear it. So I gave them the system that I knew they were going to like, which is treble. People like treble. They want to hear it. So, a 10 out of 10 SQ system is going to make everybody miserable. because if you sit in one of those and listen,
Yeah.
you don't want to listen to that all the time. It's
Well,
not
I would
fun.
argue that the
You can
cars I
argue all you
listen
want.
to, the cars I listen to nowadays, they're not SQ like I remember it. It's real subtle, really
Right.
flat, and really, it did have some dynamics. I would say that SQ cars now are more like I set my system up.
Well, you have to ask yourself. They have presets. What
Yeah.
preset are they playing for you?
Right. Well,
Okay.
I ask them for both. When I demo an SQ car, I say I want to hear your SQ demo, and I want to hear what you like to listen to.
Okay.
So I want to hear them both.
Right, but what he likes to listen to is probably better than the SQ.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's my point, though, is
Yeah.
that I don't want to listen to that every day. I want to listen to what makes me happy. And most people, and I know this just because we tune hundreds of cars, and most people don't want something that is acoustically level and flat. They want they want peaks and valleys, and they want fucking shake and bake, bro. Shake and bake. Give it to me.
Yeah. So you gotta have a little sparkle. You gotta have a little pizzazz.
Sparkle.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Nothing, man. I just spent like 30 hours editing a 25-minute cable cutter shootout. So Sunday, that's coming out. It's
nice. Done. Next week we'll be back at it. So back to the grind. Oh, Boring Life. You're gonna love this one. Haley put a new radio in her car.
Herself?
Okay, I was there, so I mean,
that'd be a good one. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, so that'll be up probably Saturday or Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to figure that one out.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. Have you guys watched Spider-Man yet?
Yes, we can talk about it on the next show.
Ooh, okay, nice.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Same back time.
Same bat channel.
See ya.